If you're planning to sell your business someday, there are only two things that actually affect your valuation. No, it's not how sexy your business is. It's not your lack of debt. It's definitely not how hard you work. Two things: increase your EBITDA and increase the certainty that your EBITDA not only will be maintained, but that it will grow. That's it. Those are the two fundamental laws of business valuation. Miss one and your valuation collapses. Hit both and you don't just sell your business, you control the outcome. But here's the twist. Most owners think they're doing these two things, when really they're not. And that misunderstanding can cost them millions. Let me explain. I once spoke with a business owner who was convinced his company was worth $15 million. And sure, his business was profitable, growing, had a solid team, even found an online valuation calculator to support his number. So he hired a banker and went to market. 6 months later, crickets. The feedback from buyers was brutal. Too much customer concentration. Growth isn't predictable. Margins just fluctuate too much. And that just goes to show buyers don't pay for hope. They pay for confidence. If you understand that, you're already ahead of 80% of business owners looking to exit. Now let's break down how to avoid becoming part of that statistic. Most owners hear increase EBITDA and think, right, I gotta cut costs. Sure, that can help, but that's amateur thinking. There are 5 major ways to grow EBITDA and increase certainty the right way, starting with number 1, strategic growth through M&A. Naturally, acquiring another business can instantly increase your EBITDA. But here's what most owners miss. It's not just about buying more revenue. Acquisitions can do so much more than that. If you acquire a complementary service, a key supplier, a competitor in a nearby market, you don't just add revenue and profit, you reduce risk, you increase scale, you improve buyer perception, and perception drives multiples. Buyers will pay much more for well-established platform companies than they will for lifestyle businesses. So if you're looking at M&A, the question becomes, are you building income or building an asset? There's a big difference. And by the way, if you're looking to improve your valuation, you don't necessarily even need to have completed acquisitions. But if you can show conversations with potential targets, industry mapping, strategic logic, early diligence thinking, then you've just reduced a buyer's execution risk. And as I keep talking about, lower risk equals higher valuation. What buyers really want to see is this. Has management thought beyond organic growth? If the answer is no, the buyer sees less certainty of future growth. And this is exactly the kind of strategic planning I walk owners through long before they ever put their business on the market. If you're even thinking about M&A as a value lever, schedule a call with me below, because getting this wrong can destroy the valuation of your business. But doing it right changes your exit completely. Next up, let's talk about another big lever you can pull to greatly increase the certainty that your EBITDA will grow. 2, add recurring revenue. If I could wave a magic wand over most privately held businesses and make one wish, recurring revenue is what I'd install immediately. Why? Because recurring revenue massively increases certainty, and certainty increases multiples. Here's a simple example. An HVAC company that only does break-fix work is unpredictable. Hot summer, great year. Mild summer, tough year. But now add a maintenance plan, monthly contracts, scheduled service, predictable cash flow. And suddenly, you've got a much more valuable business. Same technicians, same trucks, same market, completely different valuation. I've seen businesses go from 4x EBITDA to 6x plus just by stabilizing the revenue streams. Buyers will always pay more for predictable cash flow. So ask yourself, if a buyer looked at your revenue today, would they see volatility or visibility? If you're not sure, that's a problem. Moving on to number 3, operational improvements that actually matter. This is where owners roll their eyes, perhaps. Yeah, tighten up operations, sure, easy. But here are things that buyers actually look for. Clean financials, cash versus accrual matters here. Consistent margins, documented processes, leadership depth beyond the founder. Clear KPIs tied to strategy, not fluff, not optimistic projections, substance. And here's something most owners don't realize. When buyers review your business, they're not just analyzing numbers. They're building a narrative. Does this business's story make sense? Are their expenses clearly categorized? Is working capital predictable? Does the growth story align with the financial detail? And so on. If the narrative breaks, so does the deal. This is why sims and pitch decks that oversell kill your credibility. Experienced buyers can see through hype instantly. What they want is clarity. If you want help building that narrative before going to market, that's exactly what we do inside Presale Prep. Click the link below to watch a short video and you'll see exactly how we approach it. The next step is number 4, to develop a strategic plan buyers believe. Not a 5-page motivational document. Build a real business plan, one with clear market positioning, defined growth initiatives, capital allocation logic, and measurable milestones. Why? Because when buyers see thoughtful strategy tied to financial outcomes, something powerful happens. They stop seeing risk and they start seeing opportunity. And opportunity is what commands premium pricing. Number 5, reduce owner dependence. This is the silent killer. Why? Because if you are the primary salesperson, the key decision maker, the relationship hub, the strategic brain, you don't own a transferable asset. You own a job with a price tag. Buyers discount heavily for that risk because they wonder what EBITDA is going to do when you're no longer in charge. The solution? Build systems, document processes, shift key relationships to the organization. Yes, doing all this takes time, which is why it's best to start preparing for an exit years in advance. And to make things easier for yourself, why you might want to talk to an expert who has been on both sides of the negotiating table. Many business owners wait until due diligence starts to fix all the deal killers in their business. Now, that's like training for a marathon after the race starts. I help owners identify these issues years before the sale. Not because I like paperwork, because fixing them early is much cheaper than fixing them late, when these issues can cost you heavily in an exit. And here's something most buyers simply cannot offer. If your business is large enough and you go through the program and implement the changes, I will make an offer to buy your business personally. That's how confident I am in the process I've developed for preparing businesses for a successful exit. This isn't theory, it's pattern recognition from seeing what buyers actually care about. And here's what happens if you get this right. You don't hope your business sells, you choose when to sell. You negotiate from a position of strength. You get to sleep at night during due diligence. And instead of reacting to buyer demands, you dictate the terms. That's a different exit experience entirely. So if you're even considering selling in the next 1 to 5 years, don't wait. Click the link below to watch a short video with more details on how we can help you achieve a premium exit. And if it makes sense, schedule a call. Worst case, you walk away with more clarity about the hidden deal killers in your business. Best case, you avoid becoming part of the 80% that never close, and you build something buyers compete for. Thanks for watching today, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.